You know, I'd love to have a normal life, and I don't see that as an unachievable goal, a normal life. Just because I'm an alcoholic doesn't mean that I cannot be normal. You know, and that is one of my goals, is to lead a normal life. It's time for William Faulkner to start living.
Addiction it's like having an invisible chain around your neck. It's like being led around by something you can't see and that you don't really understand, but you have absolutely no power against it. Living a life like that is terrible. You get so tired, and all your connections to people, to God, feel like they're cut off. It's lonely, and it's dark, and it feels hopeless.
You know, the whole idea of coming to a rehabilitation program for 2 years, you know, originally was just blew my mind. I said, there's no way. There's no way I can give up 2 years of my life, even, you know, knowing that I needed help. I didn't really know if I needed 2 years worth of help. It's easy to look back now on the things I was doing and, you know, the lies I was telling myself, you know, that this really isn't as serious as people were telling me it is. And now I know it was the best decision I probably ever made.
It's not that I didn't learn anything, because I did learn something out of the short-term programs. I guess I wasn't ready. I really wasn't ready to give up the crack, the drugs, the alcohol. I wasn't ready. And I always remember how I was. I never forget how I was when I first came here, when I picked up that phone and cried out for help. I never forget that.
Most of the people that come to us have been in active addiction for a very long time. For most, this is a last-ditch effort. This is sort of the end of the road prior to long-term incarceration, or some even prior to death. And we try to pull out all of the stops here. I would like for our clients to come to us being open-minded, that there is a different way, a better way of life.
One of the characteristics that I see with incoming people is that they're very lost. They don't know how to get their lives back. If they could have done it on their own, they would have done it on their own. They need help. There's a line that you cross, and once you've crossed that line, you can't go back. All the people in our program have crossed that line. The people that we take in the program are generally people that have tried other things, people that have been in and out of shorter term programs. In many cases, they've been in and out of prison or jail. Somebody that you feel like is going to encourage you to talk while the group is happening. People are desperate, and they are willing to do whatever it takes. That's, in fact, one of our questions that we ask them. We have to determine their willingness. And they have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get their lives together.
Mainly 28-day programs, they give you a lot of information. They teach you about the 12 steps. You sit in groups and you talk a little bit about your past and about what got you to that point. You get detoxed, you get clean. But there's not a whole lot of time to actually practice living your life different. They tell you how to do it, and they have people that come and tell their stories and say what they've done, and you get inspired to do it. But there's not a lot of experience in actually doing it yourself. You don't have time.
And I want y'all to focus on...
It's too short of an amount of time to change, to really make a difference, to change lives that have been messed up for years and years and years.
Most of you are either at the end of your program, nearing the end of your
For the last 20 years, I've been fighting, you know, addiction, alcohol, and drugs. I was a Baltimore City police officer for 10 years, and I guess that's where my addiction really took off. It's like a lot of law enforcement people do, you know. I turned to the alcohol as a way to, you know, cope with it. The only thing that mattered to me, you know, every day was just not feeling the pain of who and what I was. It wasn't that I was afraid of dying, I was afraid of living.
We've all been touched, whether a family, somebody we worship or go to church with, somebody we work with, somebody we know. There's drug abuse everywhere, and people who care want to see it gone. It steals very valuable lives.
If you took 10 people and put them all in a room, 9 of them would be familiar with somebody or related to somebody or know of somebody that is in addiction. When you hear the word drug addict, the first thing you think about is a person laying in a ditch with a needle in their arm. But it's really the fact that these are real people that are willing, that are wanting to change their lives, and they're not asking for anything but an opportunity.
I'm at my jobs, any job that I go to, and I want to do my best, and I excel at. I try to excel at what I'm doing at that job, and learn everything I can about that job. And I think that has a lot to do with having the clear mind, which is something that I haven't done for many years. I mean, many years. I have not thought with a clear mind. I've been in the culinary business for 17 years now, and I think that my culinary skills right now are the strongest they've ever been because of the simple fact that I am sober.
My job is, I guess, in addition with a lot of the things in the program, have given me, back my self-confidence, my self-esteem. It's frustrating some days, and it's a lot of work. But each plate I put out, when I'm doing dinner, it's like a picture for me. I've always wanted to cook, and I've loved it. And back in Maryland, I was actually going to open a restaurant at one time, and because of my addiction, that never panned out. So now I've gotten the chance here.
When I came in the program, I didn't think that I necessarily needed it. I thought that I was going to get my 2 years over with, go back home, and live happily ever after. But happily ever after wasn't necessarily the way I was living. Since I've been in the program, I feel like I'm surrounded by people that understand me and that are just like me, and that makes me comfortable. I didn't realize it before, but it's been the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
Things that I've been through, with, drug use and drug abuse and trouble with the law and trouble with family and trouble with, just living, that all of that has made me a better person, has made me a stronger person. That all of that, I can sit here today and, tell you, hey, I'm in a 2-year drug and alcohol program, but I'm a better person.
Being here has changed me a lot. I'm not like I was before. I think before I make choices. I used to act on impulse, but now I don't do that. I'm happier now than I were 2 years ago. I like Sharon now. I didn't like Sharon 2 years ago. Sharon didn't care about anybody 2 years ago, but today she does.
Without getting high, without using anything, so that feels pretty good.
I know what these women feel like, and the men, when they come in the program. I know what that look in their eye means. I don't want to go back there. I don't want to ever have my life be like that again. That's what will make me make decisions differently. That's what's going to, it's not being afraid of society's consequences, it's being afraid of life's consequences. What I'll do to myself, what I'll do to the people that love me. I'm not willing to do that anymore.
You don't see what this program has to offer you until you've been through some struggles and look back at what you've come through. And when you look back on those things and see where you've grown, look at all the aspects of the ways you've grown in your life, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You can have all of my monetary values, my house, my land, my vehicles. You can have all of that. You cannot put a price tag on learning how to live sober, and that's what this program has given me, is the opportunity to learn how to live sober. It's priceless.
I don't know if I'll ever be recovered completely. I think that it's something that I'm gonna deal with for the rest of my life. I can't stop ever. That's the way I see it. I don't want to go back to where I was before, and for me not to do that, then I'm going to have to live recovery every single day for the rest of my life.